Good morning, I'm Crystal with Whole New Perspective. Welcome into my channel. Listen guys, today I am finally taking the time to go ahead and learn more about my steam canner. So I am taking it for a test run right now. Now I should have showed you before I put the water in and got it ready to go. I should have showed you the bottom. I'll show you the bottom. It has beveled edges, so I'm not sure that it will work on my smooth top, but I know that it'll work on my Cadco cast iron hot plate. It says it's a cast iron range, but we all call it a hot plate. Okay, this is the bottom of my steam canner. So you see these beveled ridges here? It definitely will not work on my smooth top stove, but I use this Cadco hot plate anyway. I use this for canning everything. So if you have a smooth top range or you want another eye to use, this one really is great. I've had this particular one for, I believe it's 12 years now, and it's still holding up fine. I did purchase a new one, so I use them both. I wanted to make sure that I always had one. That's why I purchased a new one. But this one's still perfectly fine and it's doing well, so no reason to put it out yet. I use them both though when I have a lot to can. So look at getting this. I will link this in the bottom, and I'll go ahead and put this in the bottom of the description also of things that I use. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how it goes for this test. I'm hoping that it goes well. I know my zone, I'm in zone 1, and I just need to wait to get it into the green. And I have to kind of mess with this to make sure, mess with the temperature to make sure that I can hold it in the green. So I'm just gonna be testing it right now. If it works as it should, I'll be very excited because I'll start using it, and it should be easier to use, or it may be easier to use than water bath. I'm old school, so I do like my water bath, but I'm gonna test this out too. And I can use this as well as my water bath canners as well, because I do a lot of water bath canning during this time of year. So this will help me quite a bit, and I can water bath on my smooth top if I wanted to do that. So I'll bring you back with me, let you know how this goes. It is heating up, so we'll see how it goes, okay? I just wanted to come back and show you the steam is coming out of the back now. Yeah, I think you can see it coming out. It's still not in the green zone yet, so I'm still waiting for it to get to the green zone, which is the zone that I need, and I will know that it is to pressure for canning. So I can hear it. I'm just gonna turn it down, but it's still moving. The red dial is still moving, and it has a good ways to go, but we'll see. I see this is starting to move too, so it does talk a little bit about that and what to do if that starts. But we'll see how long it takes. It says anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. I should have started my timer, but I didn't. I didn't even look at the clock, so it's been a while though. So what it said was when it starts to spitter and spatter out of the front, which is what it was doing, to go ahead and turn it down. It's an indication that it's moving or close to temperature. Now I told you I was gonna turn it down, I did. And as soon as I turned it down and looked, it was already in the green. And so it is up to temperature for my zone. So I could start canning and processing right now. I'm gonna let it continue. It says to continue to watch it until the red needle stops rising. So that's what I'm gonna do. Record this maximum point by marking it on the indicator knob, okay? So it says to continue to watch the indicator until the red needle stops rising. The indicator should reach the green area for the zone, but can vary from just reaching the green area to going far inside it This is because the zones are approximate, and your exact altitude will affect the maximum position of the indicator. Record the maximum point by marking it on the indicator knob, making a note, or taking a picture. This is the point at which your canner is up to boiling temperature and is safe to start the processing time. So I'm going to see if it stays there or if it moves up any further. I believe that it's been here for a while. I think that's where it's going to stay. And actually it is right in the middle of my green line. So I'm in zone 1 and it is right in the middle. That's where it is stopped for my zone. So I'll remember that once it gets to the middle, it's not going to move any further, and that's when I can start safely my processing time. To ensure that each batch is properly processed, be sure to wait to start the processing time until the indicator reaches this point. So moving forward, since I know that my processing time will be right in the very middle, I won't start processing until that time, and that's when I can set my timer. So that's good. For best results, the test should be repeated each year before you begin canning, and note any changes in the indicator reading from the prior year. This test will also need to be done each time your canner is used in a new location, as elevation changes will cause the indicator to read differently. It looks like it's moving just a little more, so I'm going to wait before I decide or determine where my final mark is to make. Because it's not in the middle anymore, I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to wait a little bit longer just to make sure that it stands still, and then I'll know for sure that that is where my area is, or the sweet spot is for me to begin steam bath canning. So this is really interesting. It's really interesting. I'll show you. What I'm going to do now is just show you what it looks like, so you'll see it, and then I'll take a picture at the same time, and that way I'll know moving forward where my area is. But I'm just going to let it go for a little longer just to be sure that that's it. This is where it's at. The steam is coming up. I did turn the eye back up. I can hear it boiling. So now I can go ahead and start the processing time. I'm going to go ahead and process this for 15 minutes. So I'll set my timer to 15 minutes, and we'll be back. So it finished processing for 15 minutes. I turned it off and I let it sit for another 5 minutes. And this is where the indicator is right now. I should be able to take, according to it, I should be able to remove the lid. So when the processing time is finished, turn it off, let it stand for 5 minutes with the lid on before removing it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to carefully remove the lid, and whenever you're removing the lid, you want to make sure that it is away from you. Anytime that you're moving anything like this, you want to make sure that you move it away from your face, because you don't want the steam or anything to touch your face. So make sure that you're moving it. Then I'm just going to sit it down. I wanted to look in it to see how much water is left after that. And it's almost the same amount of water as when I started it. So what I let it do was process for 15 minutes. Could have let it go longer, but I wanted to at least try 15 minutes. Most of my recipes are 10 minutes. And then you let it sit for another 5. But I'll show you the water. It's still up to the top, so I feel pretty good about this. My indicator, of course, will start to come down. I can go ahead and process my next water bath canning recipe in my steam bath canner and feel pretty confident with it. Everything stayed in the green. What I did like about it is that it processes at a lower temperature. When I'm water bath canning, I have to keep it up pretty high. But with the steam bath, I don't keep it up anywhere near as high. I do like that. I like that, of course, it is less water, so it's a lot less time to wait for it to come to a boil. this seems easier too. Whenever you go to get your product out, that seems a little easier to do as well. So that's what I like about it. Now, what I didn't like, honestly, just making sure that I kept it in the green zone, or that it kept making sure that I have a starting point to start processing. That's one of the things that was most difficult for me to determine. Or it wasn't difficult to determine, but just making sure that that is when I start the processing time, because I want to make sure that I'm processing properly. So what I'm probably going to do is go ahead and practice this a few more times so that I am positive that that is the time that I start my timer. I do not want to process anything for the wrong amount of time. And so that's what I want to do, is make sure that it's on the right spot to start canning. So guys, thank you for coming with me as I tested out this new water bath canner. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. If you haven't done so, give the video the thumbs up. And if you have any tips or hints or anything that would help with the water bath steamer, let me know. I certainly will appreciate that, as this is a new journey for me. I'm old school. So let me know below some tips to using this water bath steamer.